We do have a fairly new, updated comp plan that came out about 4 weeks ago. And so we're all just learning together. Definitely learning together. And so let me see if I can get to my desktop. And I just want to share this right here. Let's see how big I can get it. All right, can everybody see that? So now with our newest comp plan, we have 9 ways now to make money, where before we only had three, maybe four. And one thing that's further down, it's not on this, but the first thing is you can enroll people as preferred customers, and that's not on here on this sheet. But you get about a 20% commission when you enroll people as preferred customers, and that's not on here. So that is another way that you can make money quickly right off the bat. But a lot of people like to take advantage of these packages. And if you enroll someone with a package, that is basically a brand partner account, although there is no obligation for them to put their social on there or do business. But one thing we do find out is that people like savings, and you can't get these below wholesale prices that you get with these three packages as a preferred customer, but you can get wholesale pricing as a preferred customer. And also, one thing we find out is a lot of people have no interest in sharing this product. I know when Alicia started, she had no interest. Me and Dr. Stan had no interest in sharing. But then when we got the results we got, we just could not share with people. And so that's another benefit of them coming in with one of these packs is that they're already set up to be a brand partner and to share if they decide they want to. Because I've had a lot of people come back and say, okay, I said I wasn't going to share, but now I want to. What do I need to do? And I'll just say, nothing. You're already set up. And so they love that. But the first way you make money, other than commissions, if you do preferred customers, and I kind of reserve preferred customers for people that really, really are struggling with money. And, I'll just say if you can come up with $100 a month, let's sign you up as a preferred customer and get you on X39. And so, if they can't do a package, and, it happens, I understand. I've been there when $300 would have been like moving the Rock of Gibraltar. So, that's when I usually go to the loyal customer or preferred customer option. But these are great, great values, especially when you realize that stem cell injections start at $8,000 to $10,000 per injection. So, I don't like for people to say it's expensive. It is an investment. I do understand that. But when you compare this to $10,000, $20,000 per injection, the price for this for what it does is phenomenal. So I usually start here when people ask me, how do I get the best price? I'll start with the premium pack and I'll say, this is going to give you the lowest price per unit. And I think it's like $83 maybe for X39, 42.50 for the other patches in this. And if they can't do that, I'll say no problem, and I'll move down to this one. And I'll find one that they're comfortable with. Or sometimes I'll send them the order form that we have that just has all four of these on there. And I'll just say, the bigger the package, the lower the price, the unit price. But when you enroll someone, you immediately get a product introduction bonus. You've got to be active with at least 55 PV a month. So that means you would need to order at least one patch a month. Or if you come in with a package, you're active for 30 days. And then you immediately get a product introduction bonus. If somebody comes in with the core pack, you get $35 immediately into your commission account. If they come in with the advanced, you get $75. If they come in with the advanced plus, you get $165. And if they come in with the large premium pack, you get $405 immediately in your commissions. And a lot of people that want to do the business will come in with the bigger pack so that they have patches to share with people for samples, or they maybe even will retail a pack or two. I've never really gotten into that because I want people to get the wholesale price, but you could do that. And this is about a 7 month supply for a husband and wife of X39 and Eon. So that's how I present it to a couple. But of course, they can customize it. They could get other patches also. The second way is when you're brand new, you have 9 weeks to get this business launch bonus. And we can talk about how later, but if we can get you to 1 star manager, which is basically 750 PV, and you'll see that each one of these has this BV. And so if somebody comes in with, you get somebody with an advanced pack, and two people come in with a core pack, and then you've got your own BV goes in with it, you've probably got enough to get to 1 star manager, which is 750. And if you get that done in your first 9 weeks and you maintain that, you get 25 extra dollars a week. And then the person that enrolled you gets a check match for 12.50 a week. And that'll go until 9 weeks is up. But if you get up to 2 star manager, which is that 1500? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. 1500 in BV, and that means maybe you shared with a couple people and they've shared with a couple people. But I know people who have done this in 2 days. Then you get an extra $50 a week for the rest of that 9 weeks. So that could be, you know what, uh, 300 extra dollars. But this can be, if you move quickly, could be about an extra $450 on top of your PIBs. And then the third way that you make money right off the bat is level earnings bonus. So if you enroll someone that's on your level one, whatever their BV is, you get a 3% check match. When you go to 5 star manager, that turns into 5%. When you go to 2 star manager, that turns into 7%. And then you start getting paid on a second level. So if Deidre enrolled Tara, and then Tara started enrolling people, then Deidre would get the 2% on the people's volume that Tara enrolled. So those are the first 3 or 4 ways you make money. There are 9 ways, including some breakout bonuses that start when you go from manager 3 to director, $500 breakthrough bonus. So there's 12 ranks. There's manager, 3 ranks at manager, 3 at director, 3 at executive, and 3 at presidential. And every time you jump from like manager to director, there's a $500 bonus. When you jump from director to executive, there's a $5,000 bonus. And then when you jump from executive to the presidential, there's a $50,000 bonus. And then each level of presidential has another breakthrough bonus. One is 75,000. I think the last one is 100,000. But they're not paid over a year. Dr. Stan and I got a $100,000 bonus one time in another company, and it was paid out over 2 years. This is paid half up front, and then after you maintain that rank for 4 weeks, and it doesn't have to be consecutive, then you get the other half. So that's really cool about those breakthrough bonuses. But it's, really simple. The main thing is just to get started and just to share with people, find people that need, income or that need help with their health, like Tara. I mean, she's been suffering for years with sciatica. Deidre been suffering for years with her shoulder and couldn't work anymore, and now she's back working. And Claudia didn't ever quit working, but she suffered while she worked for many years. These hairdressers, I tell you what, they work hard. But now she works with no pain. So, we just have the best of both worlds.
It's truly amazing.
It really is. It really is. All righty. Does anybody have any questions? We'll have just a short Q&A about the business. Anybody? Any questions at all?
I do have one quick. Deidre and I were talking about this, I believe, the other day. So, and she thinks it might have just changed to this. So, like my earnings that are out there, can I leave those out there and use it towards additional products
Well,
instead of withdrawing?
you still have to set up your account. You can't use it until you
Right.
get your account set up. When you get your account set up with that iWallet payout, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. I got an
yeah,
email
then
for it.
then you can leave it there.
Okay.
And you can use it, but to use it online, it has to cover your entire order,
Okay.
shipping and tax. But I
Gotcha.
did find out because one of my customers did this. They called customer service instead of me, and customer service let them apply it and then use a credit card for the difference.
Awesome.
No, but
Okay.
there's no way to do that online, but you can call
Right.
customer service and do that.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Thank you.
Yep. 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 So I have mine set up weekly. Dr. Stan only has his set up on the 1st and the 15th.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'll go in to order for him and it'll be like the 14th or something, and his money's in there, but it hadn't went into his checking account yet, and I'll pay for his products with his. But that
Okay.
doesn't ever happen for me because I have it done weekly. So
Weekly. Okay.
it's always
Gotcha.
gone by the time it's always in my bank account by the time I go in there.
Right. Okay.
Yep. Anybody else have any business questions or anything about ordering or anything like that?
This is Chip Miller. I have a quick question.
Sure.
I I'm new at it, and my upline is Dawn Clark, and she shared a video with me. But where are like the little sharing videos that you would send somebody in a text message that's short, brief? She sent me one that I think's really good, but is there probably a library of that stuff and
Yeah, you'd think
in
so,
the
but
back office
sure.
maybe, or maybe not?
You can go to YouTube. You can type in
Oh,
Lifewave,
yep.
like introduction, something like that, and see what you find there. Jot these down. There's a couple of websites that we use, and you could probably get the videos off of them, but one is called whythelight.com. And I love the first video on that one. It's short, it's just really, really good, but it's on Vimeo. And I need to ask Peter if I can find just that video because I would like to just send that first video. But I like Why the Light, that website, because it also has just a few really quick bullet points about how the patch works. And so check that out and see what you think about that chip. And then there's one called startx39now.com. Um, and ooh, y'all remind me what the password is for that. That one has to have a pass
Share,
share. Share
share.
is the password. Start X39 now. Share is the password. Um, and they have a couple, and I know the videos that they use are on YouTube. So if you actually click on the video and go to YouTube, then you can copy it from there and just share that video. But the one I like the
Also,
best on Why the Light is on Vimeo, and I'm not real familiar with that.
I was going to say the video that got sent out, I think earlier today from Dr. Stacy. It was like one of them was an hour long, and then she's kind of summarized it up into a 30-minute
Mhm.
YouTube video. It was awesome.
Yeah, she has one. If you run into somebody that you know is interested in the business part, or even a customer that becomes interested, Dr. Stacy has done one called Why Lifewave, Why Now? And it's about 12 or 15 minutes. It is really, really good. Really good. So, yeah, just reach out to us. We'll try to help you find things like that. And, there are some videos, but I think they're so vague on our website and in our back office in the resources. If you go down through the resources, there's a lot there, a lot there. I was reading on the Preferred Customer Plus program the other day about how preferred customers, when they get the Plus account, they pay $25 to be a preferred customer and get wholesale pricing, but they get $25 in free products every single month. So a lot of times people will do that so they can try different patches. But they can also refer people through their own link and they can earn free products as preferred customer plus.
I
So
did not know that. I'm glad you just mentioned that. Okay,
yeah. If you guys have
awesome.
time over the holidays, go into resources when you log in and just scroll down through there and look. There's a lot of information.
Will do for
And
sure.
click on the different things because sometimes, like I was looking for the policies and procedures the other day, and it's under a weird heading. Like it should just be, in my mind, policies and procedures. But you
Right.
click on business something, and then it comes up with some other things. But a lot of great resources back there. Yeah. And we also do have start333biz.com, start333biz.com. Deirdre, you got that password in your head, or I need to look it up?
That one we got to look up.
Yeah, there's a password for that one too.
I
Uh,
think it may be the biz.
or
I think
333 biz, maybe.
The password for that one, the username Jody is start, and the password is the biz.
Okay, yeah, because she just changed that. So start
yeah.
is the username and the biz is the password for the start 333 biz website. Marcy has spent 5 years building that website, and there is a ton of business information. So you can go in there and look around. You can get on the Telegram chats, where that you can find testimonies. There's order forms. There's health trackers. There's patch summaries, and those are things we always send to new people. You want to send them a health tracker so they can write down what's going on with them and so they can track all these different areas. And I think it has 16 areas for them to rate, like 1 to 10. So that health tracker and the patch summary of all the different patches is something I always send to people, usually when I'm talking to them, even before they enroll. So that's on the Start 333 Biz. And 333 stands for our system. And Marcy has taught people if you will reach out to 3 new people a day, and just get out of your comfort zone and just say, hey, I found something that helped me with XYZ. I think it's something you might be interested in. Are you open to more information? Don't get into telling them everything about it. Let your tools do the work. And if they're open to more information, then you can send them a video like Chip was talking about, or you could send them to Why the Light or Start X39 Now. But you always want to follow up after that to answer their questions. And then you want to say, let's get you started. A lot of people have a hard time closing and, getting people off the fence, so to speak. And just say, hey, let's get you started. I'm dying for you to try this. And and then when I keep following up with people that don't start right away, I just message them to see how they're doing and say, hey, I was so excited about you trying this. Are you still considering it? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with 10 is getting started? And, just pick their brain a little bit and find out what's holding them back. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, to reach out to people. Don't pester people and don't throw up on people telling them all the details when we have tools that will do that. And another thing is when you're talking to somebody too, reach up to your upline, and you've got lots of people in your upline, probably if you're on this call, that can help you and get them on a three-way call. And it doesn't have to be upline. It can be sideline. It can just be your running buddy. The third party verification usually seals the deal, and it doesn't matter who it is. I have told this story so many times. Connie Lucas, she does the doc talk on Sunday night, and she enrolled Dr. Nicholas. Well, Dr. Nicholas knew so much more than her about stem cells, about the patches, everything. But when he was new, particularly, he would get people on the phone with Connie and he'd say, this is my friend Connie. And I wanted her because she answers my questions, and I wanted to make sure we get your questions answered. And then Connie taught Dr. Nicholas what to say because, he was getting her on there. He didn't tell people Connie was a hairdresser and he was a doctor. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter who that third party is, but getting people on a three-way call usually has about a 90% close rate. And I feel like that's something that a lot of us don't use often enough.
And I always say, remember that, one yes makes up for 10 no's. Just keep going because that one is gonna, it makes up for all those 10 you heard no that week. Just keep
Absolutely.
pushing. Right.
And if we do this again next week, I'll try to maybe have April on. Um, April and Alicia and I all live within about an hour and a half of each other. I'm in the middle
Okay.
of them. And April's the one that introduced us to Dr. Stacy that we were talking about. But
Okay.
April has rheumatoid arthritis. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you need to go to the hospital right now. Your CRP is off the chart. You're a stroke waiting to happen. You're going to be in a wheelchair in 6 months. And April was like 52 years old. And
Oh,
April said,
goodness.
no, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not. I got to go home and pray. And on her way home, one of her good friends called her about the patches. And
Wow.
4 months later, she went back to that rheumatologist, had her blood work done, and her rheumatologist looked at it and said, oh, this is not yours. Let me go ask the nurses for yours. And came back and said, what are you doing? Her CRP was 0.03 something, like from off the
Mm,
chart to under normal. And April showed her the patches and told her, and her doctor said, no, 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 no. I don't want to know about that. That could put me out of business. And that's why I get up every day, Tara, when people say no, when
that's
people say
right.
I'm not interested and they haven't even looked at the science, when medical doctors say that's hocus pocus because they won't look at the science. Um, you can get discouraged, but I think about April and I think about Alicia every day, and that's what keeps me going and keeps me reaching out to help people.
That's right. God is good for sure.
He is.